Alright guys, this is your personal mullah from Manila, Mullah Omar bin Manila. I promised to make an English video. I didn't do one last week because we were very busy with the live shows and all that, and honestly I couldn't get my head around it, but I'll make a short one now. So I want to spread the word about Sweden. Last week was shootings, bombings, knife attacks, killings, burning cars, burning schools. It was another week in Sweden. Remember, Sweden used to be one of the most homogeneous, safe countries in the world. Now, I would say Kabul, under the Taliban, is safer than some of the places in Sweden. But the big thing what happened in Sweden is the Chancellor of Justice, a lady, she did something horrific. She should be stripped of her title, thrown in jail, and the key should be thrown away. Of course, she should have her day in court. That's what democracy is for, even though she don't deserve it. We had two brothers who came from Syria. They've been doing crimes since they got to Sweden, and they raped a girl back in 2018 for 17 hours in a basement. They locked her up and took turns. Young Swedish girl whose parents is part of grandparents building Sweden to the great nation it was. But these people got the privilege to come to Sweden. They thanked the Swedish people by doing crimes and raping. Anyway, they got sentenced to jail. And I have pictures of this monster. He's not a human, he's a monster. And he looks older than me. I'm turning 52 next week. He looks a lot older than me. I've asked but 20 people who's the elder one, him or me. Everybody says him. So he was sentenced to 4.5 years in jail, which is a joke to start with. Then he appealed it to a higher court, Court of Appeals. Court of Appeals, they went with the lower court. Then he took it to the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court is very hard in Sweden. It's not automatic. You have to, you can't just file there. They have to approve your filing. And the Supreme Court, they ruled that he was under 18 when he was doing the crime. So his jail term was too harsh for a young person. And how do they know that he was under 18? Yeah, he had somebody from Syria sending a birth certificate to Sweden, and they bought that. I mean, I can arrange a birth certificate today in 10 minutes for less than a quid. As easy as anything, and it'd be with stamps, it'd be authenticated. But anyway, the Supreme Court of Sweden, they bought this just because he's from Syria. They buy everything from the immigrants. If he was a Swedish, they put him in jail for falsifying of documents and perjury. Anyway, so he was sentenced to 1.5 years instead. They lowered the sentence, which meant he'd already served his sentence. So the Chancellor of Justice, she awarded this guy, as he had too harsh of a penalty or punishment, 840,000 Swedish crowns, $100,000 was his reward for raping the Swedish girl. And the worst part is, a reward issued by the Chancellor of Justice can't be appealed. So we can't appeal. He's going to get his money whether we like it or not. My suggestion to the Swedish government is deport him today. So he can't receive the money, because he has a deportation order on top of it. He was still allowed to roam around free on the Swedish streets. They didn't deport him. So you're supposed to be deported. You rape a girl, you get $100,000 in your pocket. That's thank you to the victim. The victim was awarded about half of that in damages. But under the law in Sweden, you can't withhold his reward and give that to the victim, to the damages. So he'll get it, and she has to look for the money. So he can keep his money, she won't get nothing. So she's been raped for 17 hours. Her life is destroyed. He gets $100,000. She gets nothing. That's justice in Sweden under the Social Democrats regime, under the dictatorship of Stefan Löfven. Can you imagine how the family of this girl feels when this guy shouldn't even be? He was illegally in Sweden when he raped her, and he gets rewarded $100,000. I'm sorry, but I'm ashamed. If I had another passport, I would tear my Swedish passport apart. I'm a very, very proud Swede, but I'm not proud of my government. I'm very embarrassed of my government. I wish I could do something for this girl. And I wish I could have this Syrian 45-year-old child in a locked up room, him and me only. And we will play Monopoly for a while, or play cards, something like that. That would be my pleasure. I think when we finish the Monopoly, he would beg to go back to Syria and never come back to Sweden. He'd probably beg to give the money back to the girl as well. Young Swedish girl's life is destroyed because the Swedish government took in these two Syrian monsters. It's disgusting. I have Christian Syrian friends, nice friends, very good friends. I have Christian Syrian girls, nice girls. I work with some, I have no problem with them. But these monsters, illegally in Sweden, raping a girl, and they get rewarded by the Chancellor of Justice. Shame on you. Thank you guys for watching, and please spread the word. Everybody needs to know this. I appreciate it, especially you guys in North America and the UK, also in Australia. Thanks guys for doing it. Appreciate it. Take care.